Let's turn the mic on. I forgot to do everything except turn the mic on. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, Twitch on this 08.14.2023. Current time is 05:44 a.m. Eastern Time here in Upstate New York, the southern tier of Upstate New York where I live and reside. This Monday morning, we're starting a new week, and good morning, Double J's. Yeah, I was reading. You were reading my lips. I forgot to flip the microphone on, but we're setting up here, and just a tad late. That's I want to. My goal is to try and get these started at about 5:30 thereabouts, between 5:30 and 5:40 now. But Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich, here on the Twitch, as far as that goes, and we are getting our day started here on this Monday morning, start of a new week, and we'll see what the week brings. We're working towards the weekend once again. Yeah, I got to set one more thing up here. Okay, there it is. That's what I need right there. Okay, we're set, and we do have the morning coffee. Salute to you all, and it's still dark out, so we're up before the sun, I believe, as far as that goes. And we got things. I hope everybody had a good weekend. We did have a good. I had a good weekend. We had a good weekend here. Just nothing spectacular. We do have one of the 6 cats I have is not faring well. He's doing okay, but it's just we're gonna be going to the veterinarian this morning with Calvin, who he's either, I don't know if he banged up his leg. He's a pretty active cat, but he had some diarrhea issues here a few weeks back, and after that he's sort of like, just lounges around. He's not as active as he usually is. He's usually tearing up the rug, running this way, that way, and bouncing, jumping. He could jump like 3 feet. I've seen him jump almost 4 feet high, standing still. He's not that active, so there's something going on there. He seems all right. He's eating, he's drinking, and pooping and peeing and stuff like that. So, but he's not. His activity level is down compared to the other cats, and but we have him on a medication. Gave him something last night, and then we got in a couple hours we got to give him another one. It keeps him calm as far as going into the veterinarian and stuff like that, So the vets don't get freaking clawed, and we have to use a towel and all that. So that's a little concerned right now. It's been for the last week since we made the appointment. And so, but he's doing okay. He's okay. He's out in the back room, laying out. He's just lounging around, and he's not as active as he is. So there's something going. We think he might have. There's one of two things. He's either becoming diabetic, or he's. We think his legs. He's sort of. He's not limping, but the way he's walking on his back right leg or something like that. He might be favoring that leg. So that's why he's not bouncing around as much. His back legs aren't doing what he can jump up about almost 1.5 to 2 feet if he has to, because he has jumped up on the chairs to the table and stuff like that. But he's not as active, and that's a key thing there that we're a little concerned about. So we're going to go ahead and get him checked out today. So that's what our Monday is going to. Are your cats scared of guests? No, not well. At first they are. They scatter, but then once new people are in the house, they come out slowly. Eventually, Murdoch is let's see, Calvin's the first one. He's the bravest one and stuff like that. As far as I think he's gotten used to over the years the noises and stuff. And then Murdoch and Bug. And Jack might come out after someone's been here for an hour or two and stuff like that, visiting and stuff. We had family in last week, and it was that's what transpired as far as the cats. The typical cats, they're going to be a little guarded, I guess, as far as this until they get used to a new person being in the house, because it's their territory basically, and they wonder what's this new person doing here and stuff. Now, if you got I know if we have people that have cats and they got the smell of cats, the scent of their cats on them, they'll come out right away, because they're curious. Like, oh, there's another cat in here or something like that. So I do have the morning coffee, and it's tasting mighty fine as always. But I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did. We did some broadcasting Saturday with Lord of the Rings for an hour on this one quest that took as we're going into a cave, and just swarms of bats coming at me, and it's like I hate those bats. And this is one thing I don't really care for in that game is these big bats that come at you. That they're little wimpy, big giant mosquitoes, as far as I'm concerned. So that was fun, and then yesterday I was on Tony D's broadcast. The he had a broadcast yesterday. I was and actually this last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, big weekend for football. The NFL has second week technically. First week there was only one game. Yes, this second week everybody was playing, and but I was on. I got an I was watching the beginning of the Kansas City. Who did Kansas City play? Kansas City and oh my God, I can't even think of who played off the top of my head. I get drink more coffee. Hey, Tony D, salute to you. Hashtag positive start to the day. And good morning to the missus. Tony says good morning. She can't hear me. She's out there. Kansas City and the Saints. And the Saints ended up winning that game, I guess. It was right at the... But Tony D broadcast yesterday. And I want to thank you, Tony, for having me up yesterday. That's always great being with you. We had Ted Hicks. Or Tony had Ted Hooks and JoJo, Mr. B, on the random multi-broadcasting broadcast that Tony does, and as far as that goes, and Tony D, there he is, fellow broadcaster, friend, and brother. Let me do this, brother veteran. As far as that goes, and he had sort of a spur of the moment, it was a great broadcast, and we had a gentleman up, Mike from he has some dealings in the sports realm. This individual named Mike. He had some good insight on football as far as that goes, and Tony saying hello to Double J's, and Double J's saying hello to Tony in the chat, and those people watching on the replay on Rumble, from Rumble and YouTube, I would say good morning to you and thank you for your replay view. We do have an active chat going over here as far as on my OBS. It's off to my left. This is my left. Yeah, that's my left. Actually, no, to you that would be my right. Well, it looks like I'm using my right hand to point left. But anyway, I know the camera wasn't turned around, everything would look backwards. But that was a good broadcast. We were talking about football, a good preseason broadcast there for NFL football, for talking about football, and I like talking about football, even though I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, mirror. There we go, Double J's. Thank you. As far as NFL football, on a good preseason show for the Tony D's has a fantasy football league, and what do we call it? What's the name? I just had the name at the top of my head. What's the name of the? Oh my Lord, I am at wit's end here as far as remembering things. He has the fantasy football broadcasting. What the hell is that? God, I can't think. I'm trying to find it here. Tony's probably just laughing his ass off, man. Rich is at rare form what's the football name? What's the fantasy football name of the broadcast you do on Sunday, Tony? I can't think of it for the life of me. I can't think of it. Oh my God, it is Elmheimer's. I shouldn't say that. There we go. Belt Kings. I just think of belt, Rich. I'm going to hang a belt around my neck. Thank you, Tony. Tony comes through in the chat. Tony has a broadcast he did last season, and yesterday was sort of a preseason of the Belt Kings Fantasy Football League. Thank you, Tony. Oh, jeez. You got me out of that mess. Looked like a freaking clown. But Tony he's going to be bringing that back. He hasn't started his fantasy football, and I think most people that do have fantasy footballs are holding out because all the players aren't set. Yeah, holy shit, Rich. Yeah, really. But Tony's going to continue that, and I'm glad to hear that. It was really, really good as far as sitting on that panel and stuff like that. What's this? We got some, let's see, Chargers go wide. Oh, I guess yesterday during the, I'm seeing a tweet here from, on my, well, not a tweet, an X post. Chargers go wild for Nigerian teammate for record sack in his first ever organized football game. So the Chargers, who beat the I believe they beat the Rams this weekend. They have a player that's Nigerian, so they went wild over. I guess he. I want to see. I should bring that up. What the hell? What's that all about? But it was all about football, and I don't even think I looked at any of the baseball this weekend as far as it goes. Everything was football starting Thursday. Defense, Los Angeles Chargers defensive linebacker C.J. Okoye got his first sack in the NFL when he took down Los Angeles Ram quarterback Stetson Bennett later in the fourth quarter of their first preseason. While normally wouldn't be a big deal, the Chargers sideline was going ballistic when Okie wrapped up the quarterback's legs up and brought him to the turf. Why? That wasn't just Okio's first NFL sack in the NFL. It is his first organized football game of his entire life. So that's a big deal. That's sort of like getting your first hit in baseball. So it's one team I didn't watch or wasn't able to watch is the Chargers and Rams. Chargers, I don't know, just them getting that particular bit of news on just a regular sack. It felt like football. I mean, this preseason start compared to past preseason starts, and I mentioned it on Tony's broadcast yesterday, that right out of the gate, this seems. I mean, some of these games are pretty. The only game I saw the regular first string quarterback play was yesterday. The San Francisco or the Kansas City Chiefs with the Mahomes. He played a series, and then Carr on the Saints, who looked really good. He was the best quarterback I think I've seen all weekend. He was impressive. So got to keep an eye on the Saints. The Saints, I think, are going to be marching this year. They are going to be marching. I was pretty impressed. My Buffalo Bills, their defense, that came right out of the gate. As far as they're playing against the Indianapolis Colts, and that was impressive. They stopped him. They 3 or 4 times the Colts tried to go for 4th and 1 yard to go, or 4th and inches. Bills stopped them, and their defense was like rock solid. The offense was okay, I guess. They didn't have Josh Allen out there, but it was pretty good as far as that goes. So we're talking about all things football yesterday on Tony's broadcast, which was great. Was really good as far as that goes. Let's see. Currently here in the southern tier of upstate New York. Let's see. I gotta get this one going here as far as that goes. Let's see. You gotta put that there. Oh, it's already online. Okay. So currently here in the southern tier of upstate New York, we got 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Cool morning this morning. We're gonna probably be going out for a walk here after this broadcast. The missus and me. Start of a new week, so we got to start a new week of walking, and that's 15 degrees Celsius or centigrade, and we've got a mix of clouds and sun. It was a gorgeous weekend. We had a little. Did we have some rain? I think Friday going into Saturday we did, but the weekend for all intents and purposes, we had the windows open yesterday with no air conditioning, which is good. Air conditioning is cool, okay? It doesn't get, it gets up there. It's more of the humidity. When it gets up to like the high 70s and 80s, that's when it's really, really bad. Actually, I would have to say, it's been a pretty pleasant summer thus far. But we're going to have a mix of clouds and sun early, followed by cloudy skies this afternoon. Yeah, I say that high 70s, slight chance of rain showers, high of 81, so the humidity will be high. We did have some tornado warnings here this past weekend. More upstate along the along Syracuse and Utica and Rome, New York, up that way. They had some, and I think Thursday or Friday last week we had one north in the northern part of the county here. But high 81, winds light and variable. The sun will be rising this morning at 0613, which is in about 13 minutes. 13 minutes as far as that goes. It's 6 o'clock on the dot at the top of the hour right now. And the sun will be setting later this evening at 8:09 p.m. In Honolulu, Hawaii at 12 midnight, coming into today. You know, they're going into their early morning here. In Honolulu, it's partly cloudy, partly clear, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. In Phoenix, Arizona, at 3:01 a.m., partly cloudy, partly clear, 88 degrees. Good to see Phoenix cooling down. They had a rash of really heavy heat there for a while. Albuquerque, New Mexico at 4:01 a.m. Currently, it's cloudy sky, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Chicago, Illinois at 5:01. Cloudy skies, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I got my ear. Get something to get you in my ear. In New York City, at 6:01 currently here, also in the southern tier, 6:01 a.m. Clear sky, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Down there where Tony D is at in Warner Robins, Georgia, 76 degrees Fahrenheit. High at 96. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Low is 75. Mostly clear down Tony D's way in Warner Robins, Georgia. Across the pond in Cork, Ireland at 11:02 a.m. Cloudy skies, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. In Milan, Italy at 12:02 p.m. Noontime, lunchtime, manja time. Sunny skies, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. In New Delhi, India at 3:22 p.m. Cloudy skies, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. In Mumbai, India, that's where Double J's is from, one of our individuals that are in the... so we're sort of international. You're making us an international broadcast there, Double J's. Thank you. Double J's over there in Mumbai. He's seeing, let's see, what do I got up here? I got at 3:32 p.m., partly cloudy, partly sunny, 86 degrees Fahrenheit in Mumbai. Kuala Lumpur at 6:03 p.m., just changed, 6:03 p.m., sunny skies, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. In Tokyo, Japan at 7:03 p.m. in the evening, partly cloudy, partly clear, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And down in Melbourne, Australia at 8:03 p.m., clear skies, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that's cold. It's a little bit cool down in Australia. Sydney, Australia at 8:03 p.m. Clear or cloudy skies, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and those are our world times and temperatures as I speak. So let's see. We have a thought for the day from our my favorite author. I don't know. J.R.R. Tolkien is probably one of my favorite authors too. I guess these two are probably equal, right in the thing. Mark Twain, an American writer. Samuel Longhorn Clemens, best known by his pen name Mark Twain, was an American writer, humorist, entertainer, or entrepreneur, publisher, and lecturer. He was praised as the greatest humorist the United States has produced, and it is when you read his works. And um, William Faulkner called him the father of American literature, and he is. I consider he's a great author. He's written a lot of great works. His final resting spots, as I like to say, and I have yet to visit it, is right about 30 minutes away from where I live in Elmira, New York. One of these days I'll get there and we'll do a Twitch, an in real life broadcast, Twitch broadcast there to pay homage to Mark Twain. I would have loved to meet him. Abraham Lincoln definitely number one, but Mark Twain. He did the autobiography of President Ulysses S. Grant. He was good friends with President Grant, as far as that goes, back in the day. So his quote and our thought for the day is as follows: If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. I like that. I have to agree. That's probably why I'm so forgetful. I'm always telling the truth. I fib a little bit, I guess, but I think that's a fantastic statement. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Because people see, hey, you're truthful and stuff like that. It's just like you got other people remembering for you. Well, Tony remembered to let me know what his broadcast was. I couldn't remember. No, but if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. And him saying that makes you think. It's like some of these thoughts. The people that author these quotes, you think what drove them to think that thought, that quote, or come up with that quote. So that's he probably has some individuals in his life that he knew they spoke the truth and they didn't, and he tried to remember them and stuff like that. Maybe when he was talking to President Grant maybe got a little loopy there or something like that. I don't know. Didn't remember, but he knew President Grant was a great president. He after the Civil War, a great general in the Civil War, holding the country together, or trying to. And as president, he tried to do some things. There's a lot of history about President Grant. I think a lot of people don't realize how much of a president, how good of a president. There was a series on History Channel called Grant recently here, and I'm amazed at some of these historical biographies that come out about him. That I found out that that's where I found out my favorite author wrote his autobiography. There's a great story in that. I'm not going into it, but I just say it's President Grant was one of the great presidents, and everybody think of him as in the Civil War, but you look at what he tried to bring, especially with the Reconstruction of the South, but never really got the backing from Congress and stuff like that, which was Congress is going to be Congress, I guess. I don't know. But he did try to do a lot of good works that, and then there's history is going to remember that, and I'm finding out some things about him as far as Mark Twain, as far as a writer and stuff like that. They're great Americans, and that's what this country that I live in, that I'm thankful and grateful that I live in. Every single day, despite all the crap that's going on, it's still a great country. I don't care what anybody says. I'll go toe to toe with them anytime, as far as that goes. And there's people that are flocking to this country. We have the southern border people. I think the vast majority of those people that are trying to cross are coming here for a better life, as far as that goes. And even though that it may be encroaching and taxing our resources, and some of the sanctuary cities, and New York City being one of them, the mayor's squawking it. The inn is full. It's like New York's. I think it's not the inn is full. It's just that they don't want to use the monies that goes to take care of the people that come here. It takes a lot, and stuff like that. But once they're here, we have to take care of them. We can't, um, now the bad ones that come across, get them out of here. Track them down, drag them back, and send them back over and stuff like that. But everybody's, I would say if I was in that situation, I'd try and take my family to a better place as far as that goes. And again, despite what everybody may be bad mouthing, crapping on this country, I still have the knowledge and knowing that this is a great country. This country is greater than one group of people or one person saying that it's shit. Because you have the right to say that in this. Well, you have, to a certain degree, I guess. They say you can't say fire. Yeah, you can't say fire. That's just a phrase. For the longest time, I thought that was the rule or law that you're not supposed to, because it could create harm, and you don't want to create harm with people. So this is some good history there. Some good history with President Ulysses S. Grant, and just to tie in with Mark Twain there. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to bring up that tab. Okay, so we're going to go with the National Day today. I forgot another thing. National Day. Let's see. Today's National Day, today being, as soon as we get there, today is Monday, August 14th, 2023. It is the 226th day. It is the 33rd week. It is the 66. We're 66% through the year. And I already see what we're going to do. We got National Navajo Code Talkers. Now, there's some history right there. The Navajo Code Talkers, man, they were instrumental in World War II in the Pacific, when we were battling against the Imperial Japanese. Today's National Navajo Code Talkers. They use the Navajo Indians who nobody can understand they're talking. So, and they were protected. I mean, Navajo Code Talker was protected by one or two people when they went into battle to make sure they didn't get captured. Let's see, we have World Lizard Day. Okay, those little guys. I'm going to go with National Creamsicle Day. I got to go with it. I love creamsicles. National Creamsicle Day. National Creamsicle Day on August 14th celebrates the creamy citrus dessert of a stick. What's on the stick? During the height of summer, what better way to enjoy refreshment than with a creamsicle? Hashtag National Creamsicle Day. Creamsicle is the brand of an ice cream treat. It consists of vanilla ice cream on a popsicle stick with an outer coating of sherbet. While many other flavors now exist, the orange flavor was orange. I like that. That's a creamsicle. That's a good National Creamsicle Day. We're going to go with that one as far as that goes. And let's see, we're going to be doing tomorrow is the Fireman Rich audio podcast tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I know last Thursday we talked about something that was healthy. I got like an itch here. What was that? We talked about people with heart failure can step, and you don't necessarily have to have heart failure. If you increase, they found that they can step their way to significant better health. I think that's anybody. If you're taking more steps, that's why I'm walking every day to make sure I get those steps in. I did do a lot of walking when I was working at the day job, and I'm trying to maintain that level by walking at least 5 days a week, 21 minutes, 21 to 25 minutes. And the missus is walking with me too. Sometimes not every day, Monday through Friday, but a good portion. She walked, I think, 3 days last week. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 days. 3 days. She was busy Monday and Tuesday there and stuff. Well, Monday I took the day off, but I still walked. That day, but we had family in that for that last weekend. but by increasing your steps, you can increase your health and stuff. So I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about tomorrow for a good story. For all intents and purposes, for the people watching on Rumble and YouTube, the audio podcast, Fireman Rich audio podcast, is the same format as this Twitch live stream broadcast, but I throw an interesting article in. I always have an interesting article. And let's see, super moons and most I don't know. That was back in July. We'll find something here. We'll find something. We've got quite a bit of articles in the queue there. So let's see. We were talking about history. We'll just continue with history. History on this day. Let's see. Oh, let's see. We get that back there. And our broadcast, it looks pretty good on the tablet. See, I got the tablet up, and I'm using the Surface 3 as with my tabs for my notes for this broadcast, and then I got the chat up on the OBS and also on the Stream Manager. But the picture looks good, but the OBS is indicating we dropped 2%, 2.8%. CPU rate's 0.5, and we're broadcasting at 5600, 5700 kbs. But that yellow and green on the little square box in the lower right hand corner of the OBS running great. I used OBS Saturday and it worked great. It's working great for me. Just as a let's see, on this day, let's see, US, oh, here we go, because I'm retired now, so I do get a Social Security check once a month here. But on this day, back in 1935, the U.S. Social Security Act was signed into law by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Thank you very much, sir. Creating unemployment insurance and pension plans for the elderly. I don't consider myself that. I guess 65. I am elderly, but I don't feel it. U.S. Social Security Act. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's see. On this day in 1947, Pakistan became independent of British rule. Let's see. When did India, Double J's, if you're still there, I gotta check that out. India, was that in the? I thought Pakistan became independent of India. India officially, the Republic of India is country in South Asia. It is the 7th largest country, the most populous as of June 2023, and from the time of its independence, it was also 1947. So India was also independent in 1947. Okay. I always thought Pakistan, India became independent and then Pakistan broke away from India, as far as that goes. So, let's see. Bahrain declared its independence from the United Kingdom in 1971. Wow. That's fairly recent, even though it's 50 years ago. More than 50 years. Let's see, 12 months after Mattel recalled millions of lead-tainted toys that were made in China, the U.S. government banned lead from children's toys in 2008. So, a cheap material to make toys, as far as that goes. Let's see, and we're just seeing. Okay, on this day, and 78 years ago today, President Harry Truman announced the end of World War II. The American president told the public that Japan had surrendered unconditionally, a news report that led to joyous pandemonium in New York City. And the day ever after, known as VJ Day, Victory in Japan Day, also sparked one of the most famous photographs of the sailor kissing the girl in Times Square. The sassy VG Day kiss, in which photographer Oh, I can't even pronounce that his last name. Captured the anonymous U.S. Navy sailor embracing and kissing a stranger, an unknown dental assistant in Times Square. Okay. If you're gonna kiss somebody, kiss a dental assistant. You know she's got, you know they have clean teeth. Let's see. What do we have? What's going on? Let's see. And let's see. Was sort of Timothy McVeigh was sentenced to death for the Oklahoma bombing. He was formally sentenced to death and was executed by lethal injection. 4 years later in 2001. In 1848, the Oregon Territory was created. Okay. In 1941, on this day, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill issued the Atlantic Charter, a statement of principle that renounced aggression. I think that was the early stages of NATO also. Let's see, we already talked about Pakistan. And 1948, the Summer Olympics in London ended. They were the first Olympic Games held since 1936 because we had World War II going on. Hey, Tim Fan 40, how you doing, Tim? It's good to see you here, Tim Fan 40. Yo yo, as far as that goes. And Tony saying hi to you also in the chat. Tim Fan coming in from Michigan. He's a contractor for those folks. He's a regular viewer here. We appreciate Tim Fan 40 being here, and you're at liberty to say your quote there, sir. We talked about us meeting on yesterday on Tony's broadcast, how everybody knew each other from HAPS. The gentleman that Tony had up, yeah, there we go. HAPS sucks. Well, we never, the thing is, I got to have a regular thing here because we never have Chris Technician here. I don't know. He doesn't come here anymore. I don't know. Just like, I know maybe I pissed him off a little bit. I don't know. He's never here and stuff. I don't know. I got to maybe stay up late one of these nights and see if I catch him over on Jeeves's broadcast as far as that goes. But, we have a regular, Tim didn't like HAPS. We're talking about HAPS, and I'll say HAPS is a live stream broadcast for those folks that are over on Rumble and YouTube. A video, something like Twitch here, but we met everybody there. Everybody, like I know Tony, I know Double J's from HAPS, and it lasted for a couple years, 2-3 years, I think. Tony was only on there I thought you were on there longer, Tony. You expressed it. Been on a big phone. Yeah, you told me this weekend you were supposed to be doing. I guess you guys are still working that same job. That is a big job. If you can't finish it in the weekend. See, Tim Fan 40 is a contractor out there in Michigan. He, wow, so that must be a big ass upper structure there that you gotta insulate there. But 5-inch ceiling, is that inches or foot? I forget what the double sign is. That foot is one. It's 5-inch ceilings. Oh, 5 inches. Oh, 5 inches of foam. Oh, okay. The depth of the foam that you're putting down. So he puts the foam down up top, above the ceiling that insulates and stuff like that. So he's got 5 inches. So it takes a while. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of dumping and stuff. So Tim Fans, he's working hard. He's working very hard. 6,000 square feet. Holy crap! At 5 inches, what's the volume? Oh my God. That's a lot. That's a big. You add that up. You say, oh, it's only 5 inches, but 6,000 square feet. That's a big volume right there. Even across the bill, 6,000. The normal house is what about? So 30. Oh, 30,000 board feet. Oh wow. That's huge. That is freaking huge. Oh my God. God bless you. Just be safe there, Tim. Make sure you wear that mask. I don't want to hear this stuff. Oh, it's natural. No, wear that mask. You don't need to be breathing that shit in your mouth or into your lungs and stuff like that. But But Tim Fan, he has the regular, takes a lot of sets of foam. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, right on the 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 ventilating, whatever they call the masks, protection and stuff. But Tim Fan, he likes saying Tim, and that's his right. He didn't really care for Haps. There's a lot of people there. I didn't really care for Haps. I ragged on him, but the one takeaway, I met some good people such as Tim Fan 40, who spends a little bit of his time in the morning, early morning, because it's 6:30 here, so he's an hour behind me. He's up before I am. Supposed to have fresh air respirators. Yeah, just make sure you have that. Okay, this day and age, what we know today about even breathing natural stuff, too much of that stuff in your lungs, it's not gonna be good for you. But Tim Fan, he has a regular statement: Hap sucks, and I like seeing that. We could do the dinner report. I don't like doing the dinner report because Chris Technician, another person who's usually here, but he's been scarce of late, so I have no idea. But that's okay. They gave us a painter mask. Well, painter mask, that would be, because you don't want a painter's mask. That's going to protect you more so, which isn't the right thing. But does it still protect you from the particles, though? As far as paint, I would think paint is more hazardous. Yeah, but still smell. Oh, okay. With the other mask, you don't smell it. I gotcha. It keeps the smell out. Okay, yeah. I'm surprised you don't wear the self-contained breathing apparatus that that I used to wear in the fire department. You need to pump in fresh air. Yeah. You got a mask with a line and stuff like that, pumping fresh air. Okay, let's see. On the history here, on this day, 1973, bombing of Cambodia came to a halt. Let's see. But they say it's too much to lug around. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. You got it, yeah. The lugging around. It's an inconvenience, but it's protecting your freaking the premier thing in the work that you do, I would figure, is your health. As far as with all we know about, I just look at, I don't blame you. You want it. I look at the firefighters that took, just this is aftermath of 9/11 down there in New York City. They were walking around the fire ground, the towers that came down, and all that dust and debris. It affected them years later. Yeah, you only get $19. Oh, really? I thought you were up at. Oh, wow, that's not. Wow, and you're probably busting your ass for that $19 an hour. Wow, $19 an hour. That back in the day, that would be like, wow, you're making that much. Now it's like, nah, I'm starting to get upset. They don't get us right equipment. Yeah, you got to keep on pushing that. Document it as far as that goes, because I'm really surprised at that. I'm really surprised at that. Let's see. Finishing up on I was making $30 an hour. How come you dropped down to $19 an hour? Yeah, I would figure you'd be making up around 30 plus. Most contractors that I know of, they're up there. Well, the ones, not the journeymen and the apprentice. Maybe the journeymen start making some money on that, because I know there's tiers of the profession, the trade. But it had to come here for person. Oh, okay, it was a change in jobs. Okay, long story. Okay, that was a job change. The previous job, $30 an hour. So sometimes you got to weigh at that. You got to cut the costs. I was looking at that at one point in my career, or my job here at the last job. Shit company I work for. Yeah. Because I can say the 17 years, I think there was one time I was really BS, and I was looking at another job. I think it was in my 10th year, 11th year. And the job I was looking at, when I was being interviewed by the HR folks at this one place, the one individual that was supervisor, he asked, well, how much you making it? I said, well, I'm making, at that time, I was probably making around $18 an hour. And that was a number of years back. And And the guy, he looks at me, he says, really? That's what I make as a supervisor. And they were going to try and start me out at $13 an hour. So you got to bring that up a couple dollars if you want me and stuff. Yeah, I guess. I've been helping this company since it started in 1901. Okay. And only getting that. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. You know, it's stupid. Especially they're charging more, so you should get more as far as that goes. The job I retired from, I have good things. I left on a good note. There was a stretch there because it was obvious that some of the workers that I worked with, I was making okay money, but I was more or less the lead, the guy that's in charge of the team and stuff like that. And the people that worked under me, there was a couple guys that I kept on advocating. They need to get an extra dollar an hour or something like that. They're working hard. They're good workers. And it only became where the working at the local McDonald's here was getting up to where you could make $15 an hour. That management started looking at, well, we're going to lose some good people here. So they upped it, and I ended up getting a big pay raise. I think I left at about $30 an hour where I was working at for my last year and a half. You know, they increased it, and I was glad that I was able to taste a little bit of that money, because I was still making, I think I was sitting right around $23 an hour before the big raise. And I'm working an hour every day. Yeah, I take that. And for what? They don't care about who busts ass and who doesn't. Yeah, it's a shame. You know, it's just like, and probably there's only so many places you can go doing that particular trade as far as loans jobs get done and they get their money, they don't care. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from, because I worked along the 17 years. I worked with quite a bit of contractors that worked where I worked at on various projects, and you know, I hear the same thing, Tim. I heard the same thing. There was you had some foremen that they worked there for a number of years. Now there was this one set of contractors. This guy, the owner, he was a really heavy set guy. He didn't have to lift a finger, but he was right there with his crew. This guy was a millionaire. He had probably 50, 60 workers. It was the only group of contractors where each and every one that worked for this guy, they said, I would take a pay cut to work with this guy. That's really respect of somebody as a contractor. I mean, because he took care of his crew. He took care of his guys. I'm fixed to go to main boss and let him know I need more. Well, you have to express that, Tim. You can't, you got to do it on an even keel, okay? And just say, hey, look, I understand, but I'm seeing things that the company's making money and stuff like that, and I'm not seeing any of that, and I'm working hard, So you got to be, I guess what I say, at least the first couple of times, try and be diplomatic about it, if you know what I mean, and because I know what I'm saying, because I've gone on the deep end as far as at the day job sometimes and stuff like that, and there was one time I walked out. My supervisor said, you can't do that. You got to give me 2 weeks notice, and that's another story. And I said, no, I'm gone. I walked out. I said, I don't have to give you crap. And he was the district manager, and the supervisor, he just sat there. He just not backing me up, and I was a little pissed off. I had one of those dealings when I was in the military in Korea too, where I said, I don't care. I get paid the same. You can put, back in the Air Force, he was dangling. Oh, you want to stay on 8 hours and stuff? I said, I don't care. I'll go back to shift. I get paid the same. In my last job, like I said, there was one time, there was a dark area there where I actually walked out of the job, but they came out chasing after me, and the one thing that caught me and it simmered me down, it says, what about your guys? What about your team? And I'm like, okay, I'll take one for the team. And as far as that goes, and there's a lot more going to that story that I can't really get into and stuff like that, but I know what you're saying. You got to do it diplomatically, Tim. is what I'm saying. Is I won't go today because to work up. Yeah, yeah. Don't go. Make sure you're on an even keel, Tim. You have to be level-headed, okay? And you know, and that's where you're going to get the most results and stuff. What they're going to do, huh? Yeah, yeah. But you do it in such a way that you so hey, I'm a valuable individual for this company and stuff like that. I've been here for a number. You got to sell yourself, is what I'm saying. You're not asking for a handout. You're just asking what's due for you. But you got to do it on the even keel. I know the emotions, and like I said, I've been there, Tim. I've been there as far as that goes. For me, it wasn't really necessarily a money thing. It was something else. I wasn't getting the backing as far as that goes. And there's one thing I pride myself, even when I was in the Air Force, is I try and do the best I can do. And if the individuals, especially management, can't see that, but management was taking the side of taking the other side. I was just, it was almost like, oh, you're gonna, this the manager was trying to do this. He knew I was a good worker and stuff like that, but he was trying to say, well, I'm in charge and stuff, and I had been there longer, even though he was. I respect him at his position as manager, but him as an individual, I think at the time I thought he was a dick. But we made amends afterwards, so it was all good. I mean, there are no benefits here. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of jobs don't have benefits as far as that goes, and that's as far. Yeah, thanks, man. You're welcome, Tim. Just be an even keel, okay? Level heads, get things done, okay? It's when you go off and because once you open that door where you just go ape shit and stuff, there's no going back. So you got to suppress that. You got to be smart, okay? And that's, I guess, it's easier said than done. Believe me, I know, because sometimes I look back, I was like, oh, what a freaking jerk I was. And I regret. And there's just sometimes I regret. It's just like I've just been real fortunate. The people on the receiving end, they knew the real me, I guess, and stuff like this. So no, you're okay. Just blow it off and stuff. Just don't let it happen again. Yeah. Yeah, those are those years later. It's funny moments, but at the time, Tim, I was just like, I just said, screw it. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Oh God, good memories. But at the time, they weren't memories. They were just like, just. Let's see. We got anything? Nothing more in the History Channel here or history for today. Major League Baseball, which I have not followed this weekend, so. I'm reading these scores off. I have no idea what the Mets and Yankees did because it was, yeah, F it. Yeah, exactly. If I had a nickel for every time I said that, oh my God, I'd have a paycheck. Let's see. What happened in baseball? Let's see. Let's see. That's today. Let's see. Let's go back to Saturday. I haven't seen any. I just concentrated on football. Let's see. Let's go back Friday night. Let's go all the way back to Friday night. Friday night, the Yankees beat the Marlins. Okay, that's good. That's one win. The Mets. Did the Mets play Friday? Orioles lost. That's good for the Yankees. No, Mets didn't. They didn't play Friday night, but the Yankees were on Friday, so that's one win against the Marlins. And then going into Sunday, oh my God, the Braves, they waxed Saturday. The Braves they waxed the Mets 21-3. Holy criminy. And that was down in New York City. Oh my God. Oh wow. Let's see. And then Yankees, they lost to the Marlins, so that's a 1-1 split there. And then Sunday, yesterday, the Yankees lost to the Marlins 8-7. Okay, so the Marlins won the series, and the Mets. Let's see, where are the Mets? And the Mets beat the Braves. Okay, 7-6. Oh man, to lose a ball game. So that's the baseball. I haven't watched any baseball. Those are scores. Hey, Jeeves, how you doing? How you doing there? You're coming in just as I'm giving the baseball scores. I haven't watched any baseball. Let's see what Jeeves is. This is going back Friday night. Let's see. The Toronto Blue Jays, they ended up losing to the Cubs, so that's one loss here Friday night. And Saturday, They lost again. That's 2 losses. That's the series. They lost the series, and then Sunday, did they get swept? Let's see. Okay, they didn't get. I don't think they played yesterday. Yeah, they didn't play. It looks like they didn't play on Sunday, but they lost. No, they did play. Okay, they came back. They won the third game. They beat 11-4 yesterday, so they won 1-3. Both the Yankees and Toronto, they lost their 3-game series. But the Mets Saturday losing 21-3. Holy crap! But those are our baseball scores. Real quick on the Canadian football, I'll highlight that. Let's see, the Stampeders were lost to the Lions. The Alouettes, it's not Aleutians, it's the Alouettes. That's the Montreal team. Killed the Rough Riders 41-12. And Blue Bomber, that was on Friday night, the Rough Riders. Saturday for the Lions and Stampeders. Back last Thursday, the Blue Bombers beat the Elks 38-29. And then yesterday, the Sunday game, the Ottawa Redbacks lost to the Toronto Argonauts. The Argonauts are my team, and I think they're let's see, nice. I think you're saying nice on that last win on the Toronto thing. And there's Tony. Tony's saying hi to Jeeves. So where's the standings? Let's see. Okay, the Argonauts did lose a game. Who did they lose? I missed that game. Okay, 7-1. Argonauts on first place, and the Blue Bombers and Lions are tied 7-2 in the Western Division. NFL football. Oh my God. Let me tell you. Starting, let's see. It's week 2. Week 1 there was only one game. That was the Jets losing to the Browns. But week 2 you had the Texans beating the Patriots on Thursday night. Texans look good. Vikings lost to Seattle. Seattle, I didn't watch any of that, but I watched some highlights. They look pretty decent on Thursday night. And then Friday night we had the Steelers. They won against the Buccaneers. And the Dolphins on Friday, Falcons beat the Dolphins. Packers beat the Bengals. The Giants lost to the Lions. The Lions could be a good team. We talked about that yesterday on Tony D's. Let's see, the Washington Commanders, they beat the Browns. So the Broncos, I watched a little bit of the first quarter of that game. Russell Wilson, he looks a little flat, but I guess they almost won it. They lost. This final score is 18-17. I got high hopes for the Broncos. That's my my team that I want to. And they were winning. It was 10-0 at the half, but then 10-3 after the third, and then Denver was able to get a touchdown, but the Arizona Cardinals, they put up 15 points in that last quarter. So that's a lot of points for a quarter. The Saturday games, the Chicago Bears, they could be a real team. You know, this is only the second week. You know, anything. This gentleman that was on Tony D's broadcast, Mike, I can't remember his last name. He said that preseason is preseason, and I know what he's saying. Preseason is always okay. They're always going to play the second team. They got people trying to get a position and stuff. This preseason, though, is different from what I've seen. I've seen more games this preseason than there's something going on to where some of the games I watched was almost like a real NFL game because there were certain things going on. Not completely through the whole game, but there's certain aspects that I've seen on certain teams that were doing it, and like, wow, this could be it's sort of a precursor to the regular season, I think. And one of those is the Bills, because the Bills, like I said, they won against the Colts on Saturday, 23-19. Their defense, I just like every time they were stopping the ball. Colts were able to put up 19 points, but the defense for the Bills was very evident. The Jets beating the Panthers 27-0, so that was a big comeback for them. Aaron Rodgers did not play in that game again. I'm waiting to see. Jets, they have a tough schedule, as Tony would always. He does not like that schedule. He does not like that schedule, and if they're able to weather the storm, Tony, then they're going to be doing good. Jaguars and Cowboys, that was a close game, but Jaguars came out ahead 28-23. And then one of the things that came up, Zeke, he was a former Cowboy. Tony D said he'd like to see the Cowboys re-sign him. I'd like to see him get signed by some team because he's still a good player. But something about the running backs, we're talking about that. Ted Hicks there, he was saying, is there something going on? And it's almost like there's a conspiracy with the holdout running backs. And that's the one thing, of all the games I watched this weekend, the running game was not there for any of the teams really, except maybe the Saints. The Saints, they had a running game. That's the only real running game. Everybody else was passing and defense. I like defenses. I key in on defenses and stuff. Let's see. Eagles lost to the Ravens. That close one, 20-19 on Saturday. And again, the Chargers, they beat the Rams 34-17. Chargers, that could be a good indication right there. Yesterday's game, the 49ers, they lost to the Raiders. So the Raiders are for real. I watched a little bit of that. The quarterback looked like Carr, who went to the Saints, which is a game I watched mostly yesterday. The Chiefs, they were winning. Or no, they were losing the first half. So you can never count the Chiefs off if they're losing the first half. At halftime, it was 17-7. But they came back in the third quarter with 2 touchdowns. Bam, bam, they're back in the game. And they were winning. And they only got a field goal to the Saints. What, they get 3 field goals maybe? It was 9 points they racked up. So they won it on the last 20 seconds. We were talking on Tony D's broadcast, and I was watching the game on my other tablet here, or watching the score. The score came up on the box scores at 26-24 final. They kicked the field goal the last few seconds. So the Saints are for real, I think. Kansas City, Mahomes played the Kansas City Saints game. That was the only game where I saw the first string quarterback play. Mahomes played the first opening series, didn't get anything. Carr for the Saints, he marched it right down for a touchdown. The second series, I think it was the other quarterback that came back and they got a touchdown. They ended up getting a second touchdown and a field goal before the half. So the New Orleans Saints, I think I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills. I'm glad to see the Bills play the way they were playing with the defense. So the Bills, they came out ahead, and the Saints, those are the 2 teams, I think, after watching all the games I did watch, that really popped as far. And Chicago, I got to say Chicago, there's something going on in Chicago too, I think. So we'll see. It's only week 2 of 4 for preseason, and it's preseason, okay? But I'm excited. It's NFL football. And just being able to talk about it, and again, it's exciting as far as what's going on. And I appreciate Tony D sending me an invite for yesterday. But let's see, we've been talking. Oh, we're over an hour now. It just seems like we just got started. But we're going to go ahead and we're getting to the top of the hour. I got to get my day going here because we got a sick kitty cat that we got to take to the vet here later in a few hours here. I think it's about 10:30 or 10:30, 11 o'clock. We've got an appointment for Calvin. So this is Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich, wishing you all well. I want to thank, he'll be all right, geez. We just got to get him checked out. I want to say thank you, Double J's, coming into the broadcast. A great thank you very much. Thank you to Tony D, who's probably at the day. No, you're off today, aren't you, Tony? Or no, you're on the swings. You go in at 4. So and that's Murdoch. Okay, Murdoch. Murdoch is saying hello to everybody. So thank you, Tony G. Thank you, Tim Fan 40. You be good there, guy. Okay. Remember, even keel, my friend. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see, Tony, got to take my son to school. Okay, you're okay. Okay, good. And Tony coming in with the bazanga. There we go. That's something regular. Thank you, Tim Fan, for being here. Thank you, G's, for coming in. Mr. Twix coming in here towards the end. He comes in from Toronto. No, not there we go again, G's. Oh my God, I did it again. Mr. Twix, G's, is out there in Vancouver, Western Canada. Thank you, G's. I think it's the Argonauts. I'm stuck on Toronto Argonauts. That's what it is. So, but Tim Fan saying, see ya, Tony D, and Hap sucks again. We got a second in. Jeez, yep. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here in the chat. Thank you also for those over on YouTube and Rumble for the replay view. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you all. But this is Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich here on the Twitch, Fireman Rich over there on Truth Social, Fireman Rich over there on Instagram Threads, and Fireman Rich on I'm on Instagram, but I'm also on X. I don't use Instagram that much. But you all have a great one wherever you may be. Have a great Monday, start of a new week. Live life, have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Take care, folks. Great show, guys. Thank you.